Have you ever felt like you are working harder than ever and yet somehow falling further behind? You wake up with good intentions, you plan, you promise yourself today will be different. But by nightfall, your energy is drained, your mind is scattered, and the life you dream of building feels one step farther away. You're busy, you're exhausted, you're drowning in stimulation, and yet somehow you are disconnected from yourself. What if the problem isn't that you lack discipline or passion or drive? What if the real problem is this? Your life is leaking through the cracks of your attention. Every day you are surrounded by forces competing for your mind: notifications, noise, fear-driven media, endless opinions, flashing lights, manufactured emergencies. Your attention, once a sacred instrument, has become a battleground. And wherever your attention goes, your energy follows, your thoughts follow, your emotions follow, your life follows. Attention is not passive. It is creative. You are always building something with your focus. The question is, are you building what you truly want or what someone else has programmed you to serve? Neuroscience confirms what ancient wisdom long understood. Your brain's reticular activating system, RAS, acts like a gatekeeper, selectively filtering reality according to what your mind deems important. What you focus on, you amplify. What you ignore, you starve. Attention is fertilizer. Attention is fuel. Attention is life force. And in a world engineered to hijack it, learning to reclaim your attention is no longer a luxury, it's a necessity. Imagine two people walking through the same world. One sees obstacles everywhere and feeds them with fear. One sees opportunities everywhere and feeds them with courage. Same world, different lives. Because energy flows where attention goes, and your reality grows in the direction of your gaze. But here's the hidden danger. Most people never consciously choose where they place their attention. They react, they scroll, they numb, they drift, and little by little, their energy, their creativity, their potential, their time is siphoned away. Not stolen in one dramatic moment, but drained, drip by unconscious distractions, until one day they look up and realize they were busy surviving 1,000 distractions, but they never lived the life they truly desired. And so the great question arises: if your energy flows where your attention goes, then what could you create if you dared to take your focus back? What could you build? Who could you become? What dreams could finally find their roots if you stopped watering the weeds of fear, doubt, and distraction? What if the greatest transformation of your life is not about doing more, but about focusing differently? You were never powerless, you were simply distracted. And today, right now, you can choose to wake up. You can choose to direct the flow of your mind toward the life you are meant to live. Because attention is destiny, and your destiny is still yours to claim. The real enemy isn't just distraction, it's unconscious allegiance. You think you are simply responding to life, but in truth, your attention has been conscripted by invisible forces you never consciously agreed to serve. Most people live not with free attention, but with hijacked attention, hijacked by devices designed to stimulate dopamine release. News engineered to trigger outrage and fear. Algorithms that feed you what keeps you scrolling, not what makes you grow. Cultural narratives that scream urgency where none exists. Your mind has been taught to react, not to choose. And the more you react, the more you drift. The more you drift, the more fragmented you become. The more fragmented you become, the weaker your creative force grows. Psychologically, this erosion of focus is rooted in evolutionary survival mechanisms. Your brain is wired to pay more attention to threats over safety, novelty over familiarity, immediate rewards over delayed fulfillment. This wiring made sense in ancient times. It kept you alive. But today, in a hyper-stimulated world, this survival bias becomes a vulnerability, a trap. Your attention, left untended, becomes magnetized toward noise, fear, and superficial urgency. You are not weak for struggling to focus. You are simply navigating a world built to weaponize your biology against you. Philosophically, the struggle for attention is a struggle for existence. Simone Weil wrote, "Attention is the rarest and purest form of generosity. To give full attention to something, to truly see, feel, and engage with depth, is to honor it with your existence." In a distracted mind, life becomes shallow. Moments are skimmed, not lived. The modern tragedy is not just that we are busy, It's that we are fragmented. Our consciousness, once capable of wonder and creation, is now splintered into 1,000 shallow engagements, half listening, half seeing, half living, and thus we become half alive. Attention is sacred. Where you place it shapes not only your experience, but your character. Because character is not just what you intend, character is what you consistently attend to. Focus on fear and you become anxious. Focus on beauty and you become grateful. Focus on failure and you become resigned. Focus on possibility and you become courageous. Attention sculpts the soul. You are always in the process of becoming through the silent, invisible art of what you choose to notice. But here lies the hidden danger. You cannot outsource attention. You cannot delegate the sovereignty of your focus to algorithms, headlines, or social currents and expect to create a life of depth and meaning. The cost of unconscious attention is profound. Lost years, forgotten dreams, shallow relationships, a life lived at the surface of things, never touching the depth where transformation happens. The erosion is gradual but relentless, and one day you wake up wondering, where did my energy go? Where did my time go? This is not because you are lazy. This is not because you are incapable. It is because no one taught you that attention is power. No one told you that reclaiming your focus is the first step to reclaiming your life. No one taught you that attention, directed with consciousness, with devotion, with love, is the alchemy by which a scattered existence is transmuted into a meaningful one. The mind, left unattended, will always serve the loudest voice. The soul, when awakened, will choose the deepest one. The choice is yours. The first rebellion is quiet, invisible to the world. It happens the moment you say, no more leaking my life away. My attention is mine, and with it, I will build a new reality. You don't lose your life all at once. You lose it one moment of unconscious attention at a time. The cost is not dramatic. It's subtle. You don't feel the chains being wrapped around you. You simply notice much later that you no longer feel free. First consequence, the fragmentation of identity. When your attention is scattered, so is your sense of self. You become a mosaic of unfinished thoughts, half-lived emotions, shallow impressions. You lose the thread of who you are because you have handed the weaving of your inner story to 1,000 external forces. Advertisements telling you what to desire, headlines telling you what to fear, trends telling you what to chase, notifications telling you what to care about. Your identity dissolves not through malice, but through passive surrender. And the tragedy is not just that you forget your dreams, it's that you forget you ever had the power to dream them at all. Second consequence, chronic emotional drain. Scattered attention leaks energy. Every incomplete thought, every unresolved emotional trigger, every unclosed mental loop drains your vitality. You carry the weight of 10,000 unfinished mental conversations, 10,000 unfiltered anxieties, 10,000 irrelevant distractions. You wonder why you are tired before the day even begins. It's not your tasks that exhaust you, it's the constant mental noise. You are not just fighting battles, you are fighting echoes, and echoes cannot be defeated. They can only be tuned out. By reclaiming your focus, third consequence, surface level living. When attention is shallow, experience becomes shallow, conversations skim the surface, relationships grow brittle, work feels mechanical, joy feels muted. You hunger for depth. You crave meaning. But your mind, trained to skim, has forgotten how to dive. And so you live at the surface of a deep life, like a swimmer who never breaks the surface of the ocean to discover the richness beneath. Fourth consequence, increased anxiety and powerlessness. When your mind is constantly hijacked, you start to feel as if you have no control over your world. Small stresses feel overwhelming. Minor obstacles feel catastrophic. The future feels untrustworthy. You are not weak. You are flooded. A mind divided against itself cannot stand. And anxiety becomes not a reaction to real dangers, but the byproduct of internal chaos. True power comes not from controlling everything. It comes from directing your attention toward what matters and letting go of the rest. When you lose this power, you feel adrift, disconnected, vulnerable. Fifth consequence, the death of creation. The most tragic casualty of scattered attention is creativity. To create, whether it's art, ideas, relationships, or visions for your life, requires depth. It requires presence. It requires the ability to hold a thought, to stay with an idea, to nurture a dream through discomfort and uncertainty. Scattered minds cannot build new worlds. They can only recycle the noise of the old one. Without focus, your ability to create, to make meaning, to shape reality, to express your soul atrophies. Not because you lack talent, not because you lack desire, but because creation demands what distraction denies, attention that dares to stay. And finally, the invisible loss of time itself. Each day, your attention is your currency. You spend it on worries that never materialize, on arguments that don't matter, on news that poisons your spirit, on images and opinions and noise that leave you emptier than before. And each evening, you wonder where the day went, not realizing it went where your attention did. And so, year after year, the invisible theft continues until one day you realize it was never time you were losing. It was yourself. But here's the truth. What was scattered can be gathered. What was hijacked can be reclaimed. What was fragmented can be made whole again. You are not broken. You are simply distracted, and you can come home to yourself by coming home to your focus. Rebellion, in its purest form, begins with a single decision. I will no longer give my mind away for free. Because your mind is not a dumping ground for the world's noise. It is a sacred forge where your reality, your dreams, and your destiny are shaped. And the first act of reclaiming your life is reclaiming your focus. Step 1, notice the hijack. You cannot fight what you cannot see. Start becoming exquisitely aware of when your attention is being pulled without your conscious consent. The mindless scroll, the anxiety spiral triggered by headlines, the sudden urgency that wasn't there moments before. Do not judge yourself. Do not shame yourself. Simply notice, because awareness dissolves unconscious control. Every time you recognize the hijack, you weaken its grip. Step 2, create sacred space for focus. The mind needs sanctuaries, places and times where focus can breathe. Carve out intentional spaces in your day. A quiet morning ritual without screens, deep work sessions where notifications are silenced, moments of simple, mindful presence with a single task. Attention, like a muscle, strengthens through deliberate practice. In every small moment of protected focus, rebuild your capacity for depth. Step 3, practice the art of single tasking. Multitasking is a myth. The brain cannot focus deeply on two things at once. It can only switch rapidly, losing depth, clarity, and energy each time. Rebellion means choosing one thing at a time. When you read, truly read. When you listen, truly listen. When you create, truly create. Let your attention land. Let it stay. Depth is where the gold is buried, and you cannot dig deep if you keep skipping across the surface. Step 4, rewire your relationship with stimulation. Modern life trains your brain to crave novelty. Flashing lights, new feeds, constant updates. You must consciously wean yourself from this addiction. Take deliberate digital fasts. Allow boredom to exist without immediately reaching for stimulation. Choose slow, nourishing activities, reading, walking, journaling. Boredom is not your enemy. It is the doorway back to presence. It is the silence in which your true desires can finally be heard again. Step 5, redirect the energy of attention. Attention is not just avoidance, it is also creation. Begin consciously feeding what you want to grow. Feed your dreams with thought. Feed your skills with practice. Feed your relationships with presence. Feed your spirit with wonder. Your life will expand or contract in direct proportion to what you consistently attend to. Attention is the river, energy is the current, and where you direct the river, your future will grow. Step 6, anchor in purpose. Scattered attention is a symptom of a scattered soul. When you know why you are here, what matters to you, what burns inside you, what legacy you wish to leave, focus becomes easier. Not effortless, but natural. It becomes an act of devotion, not just a strategy. You no longer have to force focus. You become pulled by it, drawn toward it like gravity, because you are no longer drifting, you are building. And finally, forgive the days you drift. You are not a machine. You will lose focus. You will get distracted. You will have days when you slip. Forgive yourself. The rebellion is not in perfect execution. It is in persistence. It is in choosing again and again to return to your breath, to your vision, to your life. Because every time you return, you reclaim another piece of yourself. Your mind is not a battlefield, it is a garden. And every act of conscious attention is a seed. Plant carefully, plant fiercely, plant with love. And in time, you will harvest a life rooted in focus, fueled by purpose, shining with the quiet power of someone who knows my energy flows where I choose it to go. And I choose to build something beautiful. At the heart of it all, beyond productivity hacks, beyond schedules, beyond techniques, lies one breathtaking truth. Your life is made of your attention. Not your intentions, not your dreams, not your plans. Your attention. Where you place it, you place your life. Where you focus, you grow. Where you nourish, you become. You are not separate from your focus. You are sculpted by it. Attention is the sacred currency of existence, and every day, every hour, you spend it somewhere, on fear or on possibility, on regret or on hope, on noise or on meaning, on the past you survived or the future you are creating. And here's the ultimate realization. Whatever you consistently attend to, you will inevitably become. If you water doubts, you will grow despair. If you water gratitude, you will grow joy. If you water distraction, you will grow fragmentation. If you water vision, you will grow destiny. It is not magic, it is law. The world will always clamor for your mind. Flashing screens, manufactured emergencies, cultural addictions to speed and noise. But you are not helpless. You are not condemned to drift. You have the power right now, in this very breath, to choose what you will honor with your attention, what you will refuse to feed, what you will build with the invisible hands of your focus. And when you choose consciously, something extraordinary happens. You come home to yourself. You gather back the scattered pieces. You remember. You are not here to live in reaction. You are here to live in creation. Focus is not restriction. Focus is liberation. Focus is not smallness. Focus is the doorway to a life where your energy is not wasted on 1,000 shallow things, but poured like sacred water into the garden of your deepest becoming. The mind untamed is a storm. The mind reclaimed is a sanctuary. Choose to build your sanctuary. Choose to become the conscious architect of your days. Choose, moment by moment, to direct the quiet river of your attention toward what you truly, deeply wish to grow. Because energy flows where attention goes, and the future you dream of, the life you ache to live, is waiting patiently for your gaze to finally find it.